I used to think speech bubbles were the easiest part of making manga. You just draw a bubble, add some text, and move on. Turns out that tiny bubble can completely change how a page reads. While creating my own manga, I realized I was treating speech bubbles like an afterthought and it was hurting my story. Hi everyone, I'm Lila, also known as Artsy Amani online. I'm currently working on Kickstart, my upcoming track and field manga. One thing I've learned is that speech bubbles aren't just containers for dialogue. They guide the reader through the page, control the pacing, and even influence how characters sound in our heads. Today, I want to share 3 things I've been paying much more attention to while making my manga. The first thing I think about is reading flow. Before I draw a single speech bubble, I ask myself one question: will readers naturally know what to read next? One guideline I've been trying to follow is creating a rough S shape with the reader's eye. The goal is to guide readers smoothly from the top of the page to the bottom without making them stop and figure out which bubble comes next. If readers have to stop and think of what to read next, they're no longer focused on the story. The second lesson was to leave space for dialogue before I start drawing. Have you ever finished a drawing only to realize the speech bubble has to cover your character's face? I've definitely done that. Now, while I'm sketching, I already decide where dialogue will go. That way, the final page feels much cleaner and more intentional. The last thing I've started paying more attention to is bubble shape. I realized speech bubbles communicate emotion. Comics don't have sound, so the speech bubble becomes part of the acting. A round bubble usually feels like normal conversation. A spiky speech bubble instantly feels loud or emotional. In Kickstart, I also like using hexagonal bubbles whenever someone speaks through a microphone. I'm also experimenting with narration boxes and thought bubbles to make different types of dialogue easy to recognize. And regardless of shape, I always make sure the text has enough breathing room. A few years ago, speech bubbles were probably the last thing I thought about. Now they're one of the first things I plan on every page. It's funny how something so small can completely change how a story feels. I'm still learning, but that's exactly what this channel is about. I'll share everything I discover while creating my manga from scratch. If you'd like to follow the journey, I'd love to have you along. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.